Ben does this thing with his eyebrows that like it's one of the I haven't really seen that many people able to do. It's like he's able to raise his eyebrows so far up his forehead. It's like, and it really accents what he's trying to communicate. Like the thumbs up gif, for example. If you ever like look at it, Ben's eyebrows, I swear, disappears into his hairline. It just he has eyebrows 1 second and he doesn't. It's really quite impressive because it really makes me feel like he's conveying his emotion appropriately. Into his eyes, away from his eyes. Welcome, guys, to Daybreak. In the bottom left corner from Team Alternate Attacks, it's Cloud, also known as Carlo to some of his friends and family and fans. Cloud is a big-time macro player. He's winless in North American Star League. 0-5, needs to piece it together, still can salvage his season, but he needs to upset the Season 1 and Season 2 champion, and that is Puma in the top right corner from Team Evil Genius's raid call.
That's right, Dan. Daybreak, big macro map, one where we're used to seeing very passive sort of play styles. Looks like Puma's once more going to get a relatively early gas, though. Yeah,
he's going gas before barracks. Well, Cloud isn't going for an early barracks himself, so it looks like Cloud is saving up for a command center.
Command center first out of the Italian.
Command center first is a pretty strong build if you can get away with the early punishment, but last time we saw Puma able to kill 17, 18 SCVs with his Banshee very easily. And that's just, and he already has his tech established, and that's what gave Puma such strong control. When you're getting up the early stages of mech, you need as much of your SCV production as possible. Hopefully, Cloud can really defend against any kind of early harass this time as well.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, though, man. Puma kind of got famous based off of how well he executed aggressive sort of things, right? The last map we just saw on Toon Valley, he played a passive macro style, but when he got aggressive, he was so mobile. He was multitasking so well. Cloud just could not really deal with what was being thrown his way.
Yeah, as soon as Puma realized that there was an opening of his opponent, because Cloud left his base a little bit too early without even like walling off that third. You saw how Puma walled off his third in Toon Valley. Cloud was not even able to do that in time when he pushed down the middle of the map. And as a result, Puma was able to snipe that third so easily, and from there trade very effectively.
Nice. Cloud, first blood. Power drill of horror. SCV kills one of Puma's builders.
It's kind of cold, man. He's killing one of his own.
You know, I feel like when an SCV fights another SCV, they're not actually doing damage. It's just disassembling the other guy's spacesuit.
They're unscrewing everything.
It just like unscrews the oxygen.
Wow, that's like such a passive way to kill someone too.
I mean, if you crack the space helmet, you would think the vacuum of space would just suck the guy right out through. It's
like what I imagine like the G-rated version of like Gundam Wing would be. Like instead of like them actually killing each other and blowing each other's suits up, they just like disassemble each other's suits. They like fly through and they like shoot a bunch of rockets. They all miss. So in the end, they just kind of like take off the other guy's helmet.
Gundam Wing's a good anime, man.
It was. It really was. I like Gundam Seed Destiny a lot.
I like all the Gundam series. They're a lot of fun. Good stuff.
Do you think Gundam's more likely to happen or Transformers is more likely to happen?
I think Gundam's already kind of happening.
Yeah? Do we really have mobile suits like that?
No, but the Japanese have built a prototype.
No, the Japanese have built everything, man. Did you know that Japanese have... Wait, I just told you that. The Japanese have a robot that can do your laundry. Wait, I told you that, right?
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Yeah, like it detects your entire room. It like scans, like it goes to a room. It has a little like laser that just like sweeps over the entire thing. And if it sees anything that recognizes clothes on the ground, it goes and picks it up. And then you program where the laundry machine is, and it just goes in there.
I would be worried that the Japanese laundry robot would put my kitty in the washing machine.
And then Kitty would be all poofy and fluffy. Oh, Kitty would be just one giant blowfish.
Cloud is going to poke up into the natural of Puma right now. He's going to see this building command center. And he will know that his opponent is expanding. Now, Cloud did go command center first, as we kind of talked about. And... this time is not playing mech. He's going to be playing a more biocentric style, perhaps in response to just how well executed Puma's mech was on Toon Valley.
Yeah. Ooh, he does get nice shots on the Banshee. Puma's took about half of his life just by the entry itself, but he will be able to pick up and clean off the rest of these Marines. Meanwhile, Puma also going for Blue Flame on his Hellions, though. He's going to go for run-bys, but he loses the Banshee. That is very critical because, oh, just kidding. He's going to immediately send his Hellions without the Blue Flame. I thought he was going to wait for it initially. But this is nice harassment for Puma.
Yeah, these Hellions are going to be tough to deal with only Marines. One of them has fallen. And I guess that bunker does offer a great buffer against the Hellion aggression, but Cloud should be able to clean this up. He's taken a grand total of 8 worker kills.
Yeah, and if he was able to keep the Banshee alive, then the harassment would have been twice as effective at least, just because of how you have to split the Marines up. You can't trap the Hellions as easily, and things tend to compound from there. So very well done by Cloud to be extremely prepared for any kind of harassment, and Puma is behind from this.
Yeah. Income tab shows us that he's 28 SCVs to 33 SCVs. Cloud ahead economically, and also he's got a little bit more infrastructure here as he's adding in his first engineering base. I'm really wondering if Puma's follow-up is going to be to return to bio, or if he's going to continue with this kind of mech emphasis.
I mean, he can. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really say that he could transition directly into bio. He'd be very far behind if he does so. I mean, because he's delayed everything, like upgrades, delayed stim, he's delayed production. He'd be getting up a lot of barracks as well, and he is floating his barracks away. So I think the mech the transition to mech will continue. Meanwhile, both players going for a fast third command center. This is actually really funny because I think both players are trying to sneak in while being greedy, but realistically they're both being greedy, so it actually works out evenly that way.
4 Blue Flame Hellions headed towards the main base of Cloud. He does have a couple of Marines waiting to greet them, but I do not think 4 Marines is going to be an ample deterrent against this kind of Hellion pressure. I'm worried. Cloud doesn't seem to have that many units out right now, and ooh, 1 Hellion unloads a second. Oh, nice micro there by Puma. Keeps all the Hellions alive, and uh-oh.
Oh, the SCVs are lining up perfectly.
Oh, this just got serious. One Marine caught in the crossfire.
But still, there's a lot of Marines still at the third base, and they're not at the natural expansion to Hellions. Oh, 2 of them do get picked off. A nice job there by Cloud. Actually, he's able to mitigate most of the damage.
That was
in
really
fact,
impressive by Cloud.
Almost all of the SCVs survived. Only about 8 more got killed for 4 Hellions, and while that is a nice trade there, sort of, for Puma, in the end, I mean, Cloud is still in a really nice spot.
It is enough to bring Puma into the worker lead, which is probably all that he was really hoping to do there. It's 46 SCVs for Puma to 39 of Cloud. Both guys have their third bases down. Cloud's already on triple orbital, though, so he does enjoy that small advantage. Puma is going to continue with mech, Dan. He's throwing down 2 more factories. He's continuing his Banshee production as well. This is going to be, I want to say pseudo-MVP mech, because that doesn't really necessarily apply to TVT.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, at the same time, he's so interesting that he's incorporating so many Banshees this early on and delaying his other upgrades, because the Banshees do have Cloak. Now, there are only tanks at the third base if Puma scans and sees this. In fact, he will discover this in just a second.
Yeah,
Puma will have a big opening.
Puma hates the missile turret guy. He's going to try to kill him.
He actually gives up and just goes straight for the tanks, though. That's actually really nice. A nice sweet spot, though. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
I swear I saw a couple of Hellions run in here.
Did you see him? I didn't see him.
Is it getting hot in here? It does take approximately 30 minutes of Hellion pressure for a siege tank to die to Blue Flame Hellions.
It really does, man. Hellions kill things just so slow. It's so funny, too, because the siege tank has, like, as much health as a queen, but Hellions kill queens pretty... It seems like they kill queens a lot faster than they kill a siege tank, don't they?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah. It's just because when you attack with Hellions, you attack with, like, 20, and the queens just, like, instantly die. I remember back when I first started playing StarCraft, Ben, it was, like... I tried doing, like, mass Hellions, and I would only make Hellions, and... I would kill a bunch of roaches.
And you would win a lot of games.
I would, because I would kill roaches because they still had 3 range, and Hellions could kite.
Dan, even in the current metagame, there's no such thing as a non-cost-effective Hellion. And I think we're going to see some more great use of those Hellions from Puma here on Daybreak. Cloud is out in the middle of the map. Looks like he's trying to I guess, take a 4th base? Is he really just going to sit back and continue to macro? Yeah, that 4th command center is finishing up.
See, that's the interesting thing because we saw 2 different ways to approach it. Last game, we saw Puma play really aggressive as soon as he established some kind of base economy, because from here he would trade his bio and his tanks for his other opponent's units while being able to get map control. If Cloud chooses to play passive, then he's taking the other approach, which is, well, I'll let mech go for as long as they want, but I'll just expand a little bit more aggressively, and from there try to exercise my map control in the mid game. It's all about whether or not he can, though, because Puma's doing the smart thing, which Andre would be very happy, which is get early sensor towers and just hurdle up with turrets everywhere. Look at these ring of turrets, man.
I wonder how long before he gets building armor, Dan.
And high-sec auto-tracking, which is, as I always say, Ben, it's a sign that the game's gone too long.
Andre says it's a sign of the game going just long enough.
Yes. His trick tips are so funny, man, because it's like, as soon as he said I'm doing building armor, I just kind of cracked up. It's like when I first started losing as Terran, because I was trying to learn the race, and I had Greetorp coach me. Every time, I swear, like he would do replays analysis with me, and it's like looking at my build, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you could tweak this build, maybe, yeah, you probably shouldn't depot there, yeah, maybe make your barracks a little bit earlier and gas a little bit earlier. But then, like, he always says, stop. You didn't get building armor. And I'm like, Andre, I can't get it. Is it real? It's like, no, it's good. You would have held the push. Keep practicing. And then he just goes back to his computer. Like, okay.
Dan's new Terran build. Barracks, engineering bay, building armor.
Yeah, into a planetary at my natural. They'll never bust me now.
Puma has busted down these central rocks and is just going to hold the middle of the map, which is exactly what you're supposed to do as the meching Terran slowly but surely expand, and I like to call it active turtling.
Actually, that's a really good way to put it, because you're still very aggressive with your defensive zone. Whoa, being able to pick off a lot of these medevacs hurts a lot. Look at their energy. They're full, Ben, and he might lose all of them.
Whoa, one lonely medevac will survive.
Wow. And there's all these men here for one woman. They all need attention, Ben, but there's only one medevac.
Puma right now 190 supply against the 170 of Cloud, and you know, I think we might actually see him mobilize given the fact that he just shot down all those medevacs. It's going to be hard for Cloud to really justify stimming his army.
Yeah, and now it's now the siege tank count is pretty scary. It's before you can kind of manage to run by and force a couple tanks to defend at different bases, but now Puma can even plant a couple units across the map and still be relatively safe back at home, which means counterattacks are going to be really tough to initiate. And same thing with Puma. He has to only run by with Hellions because he can't displace too many of his tanks to just push unless he's making himself for a counterattack. So Puma is safe defensively, but offensively he's a little bit limited as well. He does have the medevac, but I think it died going into the turrets because I was paying attention to the top. Did you see where the medevac went?
No, I didn't. But I can tell you that there's a missile turret guy with a kill.
Yes.
Which is
well, technically it's 4 kills.
It's a happy missile turret guy.
Well, it's actually 5 kills.
He doesn't know that.
Well, no, but shouldn't you actually count the kills inside the medevac too?
Well, it's like
those guys died too.
The missile turret guy's like, "Hey boss, just shot down a bogey," and the bogey's like, "All right, +1 to the missile turret guy." They didn't know that that was a full medevac.
But this guy deserves a lot more credit than that. He could have saved a lot of. He saved a lot of SCVs. Although there's a lot of Hellions here that want SCV blood for get by.
At the same time, we got another attack on the bottom half of the map. Cloud trying to move around and get position on Puma, but running into the brick wall that is Puma's tank line.
Ooh, lots of SCVs dying as well, but the bust on the bottom, like you said, Ben, can't really progress any further. Oh, and it's a very dangerous spot, too, because that means he can't really protect the center as easily. I mean, Cloud's 4th expansion is very vulnerable right now.
Yeah, Puma's still at about 190 supply. Cloud at 175. It's surprisingly close in terms of the supplies, but, you know, Puma's upgrades are just so good. He's about to have +3 attack on his mech. Cloud has been upgrading his mech as well, so he's up to +2, which is kind of strange to see. I mean, he's playing bio, but he's also really, really invested in his tanks and Thors.
I mean, he's playing Bio, but he's playing really Marauders, man. He's got 22 Marauders, 15 Marines. At this point, the Marines are just kind of a light form of anti-air. He's going straight into the tank line. This is a very gutsy move, but immediately evacuates because that situation was way too tough to break.
Yeah, a couple of PDDs going down from Puma, really negating a lot of that Marauder damage. Puma's still maxed. Cloud still at about the same 170 supply he's had for a while. Hellions continue to be persistent over on the left side of the map, picking up a lot more SCVs. If we look at the worker tab, we can see only 60 SCVs out on the map for Cloud, 80 for Puma, who could honestly probably afford to throw about 30 of those into that vacuum of space that we were talking about.
Yeah, you disassemble them in the middle of the air.
They're not serving much of a purpose right now, as he's quite frankly, Danny, he's only mining really on 1.5, 2 bases.
Well, now we start entering a weird phase. Like, well, how should I start upgrading, or even should I be transitioning towards air? It's usually behind a nice siege tank count. Actually, Puma just going to charge straight down the center, realizing he's gotten a huge crux of the army pinned to the bottom half. I mean, he can't really move up. Cloud can't really force himself up here unless he brings his entire army, and he's going to go for the big flank, but Puma has a huge amount of units. He's pulling his SCVs as well to take some of the damage.
Oh, man, so many tanks still back at home for Puma. Cloud thinking that his opponent was out of position. That wasn't really the case. Puma was just moving forward a little bit, and he's going to win 2 big fights on 2 different fronts. Cloud supply dipping down to 130. Puma's still sitting very, very healthily at 180 supply. He can just go right now. And I don't know what Cloud can do to stop him, Dan. This is a ton of Terran mechs. So many siege tanks on the map right now for Puma.
Cloud's also rushing because he has a flank at the top as well, trying to break the siege tank line. But look at the tank reinforcements, even landing the Vikings. Puma realized there's no contest in the air. Everything is purely on the ground. And as soon as Puma dislodges his 4th base, Cloud has to defend on 2 fronts, not just 1, and that is going to be too much to defend.
That's going to be it, man. This 4th base is completely exposed. Nothing here to defend it. Marines and Marauders going to come out trying to mount one final valiant defense, but more of Puma's reinforcements showing up, and Cloud supply, as it dips below 100, Cloud taps out. GG Puma, the Season 1 champion, the Season 2 champion. In Season 4, he's kind of in the middle of the pack, but that's a good win for him. It puts him at 4-4. Definitely means he's safe for future seasons, and definitely means we'll see more of Puma.
But he's also 4-4 with a +1 map score, so he's ahead of a couple people. In fact, there might be a tiebreaker between him and Ryung, but that's, of course, the way. That depends on how the sticks kind of fall for the rest of tonight. That game was brought to you by Audible.com. Check them out at nasl.tu/p/audible to download a best-selling audio book. When we come back, our second match of the regular broadcast, MC versus Targa. Oh, my. We're going to see what happens between the Norwegian versus the Korean. Stay tuned, guys.
Should be a great match, guys. Don't go anywhere. NASL returns after this.